What is truth, Terrence?
Oh, that's an easier question. What one is sure of? Very little, I would think. Well, I'm getting ready to say nothing. I guess that's what it is. Everything is provisional. What I believe in is what I called, and I mentioned it last night, the felt presence of immediate experience, the primary datum. I'm very aware that everything else is a construct moving out from that. And so the primary datum is the first level of being. But to say I believe in it, in Western philosophy, Descartes, and that would be in 1625, said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. And that seemed to make sense for 200 years. It was an effort to get back to the most basic statement you could make. I, the given, think, the datum of immediate experience. But then, the therefore is an enormous abyss of assumption that may have made sense to Descartes, but it does not make sense to modern people. I think what we can say is, I think. If you're not thinking, then you are no more than the onrush of your metabolism and not greatly different from your cat or your dog. Well, thinking, we're not making here a distinction between thinking and feeling. What I mean when I say thinking, or the felt presence of immediate experience, is more like what most people call feeling. It's the awareness of being, in its most simple sense. Now, then there is this curious congruency, which is not well understood by anybody, between mathematics and nature. So we have now a couple more things to play with. We have the felt presence of immediate experience, the I which feels, and then we have as mental objects in the given datum of experience both mathematical structures and the given natural world. And there is some deep and profound congruence between these two, and the relationship is not understood by anybody. To me, this is really the question. Why does mathematics describe nature? That's a deeper question than most. And so I live by questions. I don't see how you can live any other way. You have to remember we're animals, we're meat, we're specks of replicating organic chemistry on the surface of a planet. If we can make a model of our environment that seems to us a sufficiently clear mirror, that is probably about as far as you can go. The idea that we can actually cognize the dynamic of being is it's a noble hope. I try to do it. I actually try to create a complete explanation, but I always call them models because you have to throw them away. You have to keep adding to the model and then throwing it away. The real justification for psychedelics is that they feed new data into your model. What we're doing is triangulating points in some kind of phase space. And if you go to Paris, you know more about reality than people who don't. And if you smoke DMT, you know more about reality than people who don't. And so the idea is to triangulate a sufficiently large number of data points in your set of experience that you can make a model of the world that is not imprisoning. That's why, second to psychedelics, I think travel is the most boundary-dissolving educational enterprise that you can get mixed up in. Yeah.
But I think one problem is with, with everything we experience in outside or with psychedelics is that we're experiencing only more or less what we are believing with some variabilities. So, so maybe we can see, yeah, there's a possible other world. There is something more, and maybe that's all. Maybe I can understand the experience in my personal life, but I can't take it for real. It's in some way real, but I have to check out if I'm producing this. If I believe that, for example, the world is bad, then I will experience a bad other world, something like this. So I never can be sure of this because of my belief system. I'm producing this.
Well, in what you say, there's a strongly expressed dichotomy between self and world. I mean, this question of reality, non-reality, and so on. But you can perform a kind of philosophical reduction and satisfy yourself that the self and world distinction is not primary. You know, that who looks through your eyes is the world.